Someone screaming maybe 3 rows behind me. There was one guy clearly trying to open the airplane door, with the guy sitting next to him just trying to pull him off the door.
On February 23, 2024, during an American Airlines flight traveling from New Mexico to Chicago, a man reportedly rushed toward an emergency exit and attempted to open the door while the aircraft was mid-air, prompting immediate alarm among nearby passengers. Despite the disturbance, the flight continued safely and landed as scheduled, after which police boarded the aircraft and detained the man, while many passengers remained visibly shaken by the incident. The mystery surrounding the jetpack sightings near Los Angeles International Airport has continued to spark debate. In November 2020, accounts of a strange figure appearing in the airspace near LAX attracted widespread attention after multiple pilots described seeing what looked like a person flying at a high altitude, an image that immediately defied conventional explanations.
It's a very good possibility that the previous ones were also balloons and pilots mistook a jetpack.
The reports prompted an FBI inquiry, with early assessments suggesting the object may have been a life-size balloon, as officials noted that pilots might have mistaken such a device for a jetpack. Despite those explanations, the distinctly human-like shape of the figure led many to doubt the balloon theory, while recorded pilot communications describing a jetman near the airport further fueled public fascination and uncertainty.
We just passed a guy in a jetpack.
Use caution, there was a jetman reported just north of Gate C.
All right, we're looking for the R-man.
Authorities later confirmed that the case remained open, with no arrests made, leaving the mystery unresolved and reinforcing the sense that definitive answers had yet to emerge. An unusual object illuminated the sky with deep red lights, immediately setting it apart from anything resembling a falling meteor or other natural phenomenon. A witness reported watching a massive triangle-shaped craft move overhead, its red lights glowing steadily rather than flashing or fading, a detail that heightened the sense of strangeness surrounding the sighting. The object did not move with urgency or erratic motion. Instead, it drifted slowly, almost as though it were deliberately observing the area below. The observer became convinced that what was seen could not be explained by ordinary aircraft or known aerial activity, leading to speculation that, if the moment had been captured clearly on camera, it might rank among the most compelling UFO sightings ever discussed. In February, online discussions surged after a passenger reported seeing something unusual outside an airplane window during a commercial flight. The object appeared to move alongside the aircraft at high speed and was described as resembling something from a movie scene rather than a feature of the open sky, a comparison that immediately captured public attention. Zoe Montoya, a PhD student traveling on a Southwest Airlines flight from Nevada to Oklahoma, posted the video on TikTok, where it quickly accumulated millions of views within days, transforming a brief mid-air encounter into a viral mystery that spread rapidly across social media platforms. On October 29, 2018, a patrol officer nearing the end of his shift at Mexico City Airport encountered an unsettling situation after hearing unusual noises coming from a parked aircraft. Deciding to investigate, he boarded the plane and walked through the dark aisle with a flashlight, confirming that no one else appeared to be on board. Without warning, a shadowy figure reportedly emerged from behind a corner, prompting the startled officer to flee the aircraft in alarm. The same presence was said to have been observed again during the inspection, leaving the officer deeply shaken by the experience, which later circulated online and was widely described as one of the strangest incidents ever associated with an apparently empty aircraft. Several beachgoers along Florida's coast reported witnessing a UFO unlike anything previously documented. In January 2023, the object hovered silently above the water, emitting a faint glow accompanied by blue mist-like fumes that appeared to originate from an advanced and unfamiliar energy source. Its structure was sleek and symmetrical, displaying a level of balance and precision that did not resemble any known human-made spacecraft. Rather than accelerating away, the object remained suspended and then rose slowly, as if cautiously testing the surrounding air, a motion that drew comparisons to a massive hot air balloon despite its distinctly technological appearance. The witnesses recorded the sighting and shared the footage online, where it spread rapidly across social media platforms, prompting widespread fascination and speculation as viewers continued to question where the craft originated and whether it might ever be seen again. A passenger aboard a Ryanair flight traveling from Eindhoven to Spain reported witnessing a startling event while the aircraft was flying over the Netherlands. In September 2015, a dark, disc-shaped object was seen moving rapidly toward the plane's wing, a sudden approach that immediately raised alarm. The object's speed appeared to cause noticeable air disturbance, prompting the captain to take swift action to stabilize the aircraft. Footage recorded by the passenger later circulated widely online, attracting significant attention from both viewers and news outlets, with many describing the incident as an unusually close encounter in midair. Experiences like this contributed to growing skepticism toward dismissing such sightings as mere misinterpretations or simple camera artifacts. While traveling on a commercial flight, a passenger noticed something that left him deeply unsettled after observing a hooded figure seated nearby, who appeared to stare at him continuously. What heightened the discomfort was the figure's face, which seemed subtly unnatural, giving the impression of someone making an effort to remain unnoticed rather than blending in normally. The passenger reportedly became fully aware of the situation when the food cart moved through the aisle, prompting him to take a photograph that later circulated widely online. Once shared, the image provoked intense reactions, with many viewers claiming that the figure's appearance did not seem entirely human.
Dad, move your hair.
While flying over Florida in 2022, a passenger noticed a strange blue light hovering in the distance, initially resembling a softly glowing orb suspended among the clouds. The sight drew attention as the light intermittently disappeared from view, prompting repeated efforts to adjust the angle of sight from the airplane window. As the observation continued, a larger and darker shape slowly emerged behind the blue light, moving in a way that suggested it was deliberately concealing itself, while briefly revealing its outline. The passenger, visibly shaken, recorded the scene on video and later shared it online, where it quickly drew widespread attention. Viewers reacted with shock and curiosity, with some convinced the footage showed a UFO partially hidden within the clouds, while others argued for natural explanations, even as the object's slow, intentional movement gave the encounter an unsettling, almost watchful quality. High above LaGuardia Airport, a passenger aboard a flight preparing to land noticed an object streak across the sky at an extraordinary speed, appearing at first as little more than a fleeting blur. When the recorded footage was later slowed down, a distinctly saucer-like shape became visible, transforming a brief visual anomaly into something far more puzzling. The video drew the attention of both the pilot and air traffic control, particularly because the object failed to register on radar systems at any point. Its abrupt appearance and equally sudden disappearance raised serious questions about what had crossed the aircraft's flight path and how it had gone undetected by conventional tracking technology. On May 13, 2022, an Air India flight bound for Newark departed from Delhi under routine circumstances, giving no indication that the journey would soon take an unexpected turn. Approximately 30 minutes into the flight, the calm inside the cabin was abruptly disrupted when a bat was discovered flying through the aircraft, startling both passengers and crew. The sudden appearance of the animal caused concern to spread quickly throughout the cabin, prompting the captain to prioritize safety and make the decision to turn the aircraft back toward the airport. Although the resulting delay led to frustration among travelers, the unusual incident soon circulated widely online, with many describing it as one of the strangest occurrences ever reported on an otherwise ordinary commercial flight. Residents of Nashville, Tennessee, reported seeing a UFO appear above the city, where it hovered in the sky while flashing bright red lights and moving with a level of precision that seemed unlike any known human-made aircraft. The object's controlled motion and unusual lighting immediately sparked speculation, with some observers suggesting it might have been a secret military test, while others half-joked or openly wondered whether it represented an intergalactic presence encountering Earth for the first time. The sighting was brief, and as the object moved on, it left behind a thin trail of smoke that gradually faded from view. Onlookers watched from windows and streets below, taking photos and exchanging uneasy whispers, uncertain whether they had witnessed a rare, isolated event or the beginning of something far more significant.
That is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life, bro. It's so cool.
Late one evening, a local resident driving home noticed something unusual in the sky that immediately drew attention. Initially, it appeared to resemble a low-lying cloud, yet its shape seemed unusually smooth and precise, setting it apart from anything natural. The object hovered silently near the clouds without drifting, maintaining a fixed position that defied typical atmospheric movement. While some viewers dismissed the footage as a harmless misinterpretation, others felt it captured something unknown hiding in plain sight, and the object's steady, motionless presence left many unsettled. In September 2025, residents living near the Gulf of Guatemala reported noticing an unusual object moving across the night sky, distinguished by its irregular shape and smooth, controlled motion as it maintained a steady trajectory without any visible wobble. Shortly afterward, pilots revealed that an Apache helicopter operating in the same area briefly experienced unusual visual disturbances, suggesting that its onboard viewing systems may have been affected during the encounter. The object remained visible only for a limited time before gradually fading into the distance, yet when footage of the event surfaced online, it sparked widespread discussion. Air travel seldom resembles a scene from an unexpected adventure. Yet that is precisely what unfolded on October 6, when a flight scheduled to travel from Guadalajara to Mexico City was delayed for hours after a massive swarm of mosquitoes flooded the cabin. Passengers quickly realized they were sharing the confined space with far more than fellow travelers, as insects flew through the air and settled on seats, walls, and people. Footage recorded by Elizabeth Esmeralda Menares Corona captured crew members frantically waving their arms and spraying insect repellent in an attempt to bring the situation under control. Although the flight had been scheduled to depart at 4:30 p.m., it did not finally take off until 7 p.m., leaving passengers trapped in an uncomfortable and chaotic delay that turned an ordinary journey into an unforgettable ordeal.
Now, it can't hold us!
During an American Airlines flight, traveling from Los Angeles to Salt Lake City on September 6, 2021, both crew members and passengers grew increasingly uneasy after an elderly man began acting confrontationally without any clear provocation. His sudden outbursts, including loudly questioning seating behavior, disrupted the calm of the cabin and heightened tension among those nearby. The flight crew, including the captain, responded with a composed and measured approach, although anxiety spiked each time the man stood up or shifted his behavior. At one point, he remained seated but began acting strangely with his face mask, further unsettling those around him. And once the aircraft landed, law enforcement officers were called in to address the situation. During a flight from Los Angeles to Mexico on April 12, 2023, a passenger recorded startling footage showing a strange creature appearing to cling to the aircraft's wing while the plane was mid-air. Given the speed at which commercial airliners typically travel, the sighting suggested that the figure could not have been an ordinary bird or known animal, a detail that immediately raised alarm. The high-definition video captured the unusual being moving in an unsettling and unnatural manner, leaving both passengers and aviation experts struggling to explain what they were seeing. A video circulating widely online recently appeared to show a series of unidentified humanoid figures seemingly walking across the clouds, an image that immediately drew intense curiosity and skepticism. The figures varied in size, giving the impression of groups resembling families strolling through a park, while one of the humanoids was even seen stepping onto the aircraft's wing as if out of curiosity. The source described the scene as dreamlike and otherworldly, yet despite the video's rapid spread, very little information is known about its origin or authenticity, leaving the footage surrounded by uncertainty and debate. On December 4, 2025, a passenger traveling from Lexington, Kentucky to Phoenix, Arizona, reported noticing a circular opening concealed just above a dense layer of clouds, a sight that initially appeared easy to dismiss as an optical illusion. As the aircraft continued past the area, however, the phenomenon became more striking, revealing an intensely bright interior that glowed as though sunlight were shining from the other side of a vast opening. The formation showed no visible movement passing through it, a detail that might otherwise have offered some explanation, and it appeared to exert no noticeable gravitational pull on the surrounding clouds. Its stillness and luminosity set it apart from known atmospheric effects, leaving the observer with more questions than answers as the plane moved beyond it. A deeply unsettling situation unfolded when a passenger looking out an airplane window noticed an unusual object floating alongside the aircraft. At first glance, it resembled something as ordinary as a frisbee. Yet as it drifted closer, its true nature became increasingly difficult to dismiss. The object appeared thin and disc-like, moving quietly, as though deliberately observing the jet rather than traveling randomly through the air. Moments later, it suddenly dropped downward, before accelerating away at an astonishing speed. This maneuver suggested an intentional effort to remain concealed, and left the observer shaken by the encounter. 5 years ago in May, a routine flight traveling from Chicago to New Jersey turned into a frightening ordeal when a thunderous crack suddenly tore through the cabin. Approximately 30 minutes after departing Midway Airport, a passenger's camera captured the moment a window broke mid-air, followed by a loud and alarming boom that instantly transformed the calm flight into a scene of panic. Despite the shock, fear remained largely controlled as the flight crew responded with professionalism, and the pilots swiftly diverted the aircraft to Cleveland to ensure everyone's safety. As the plane descended and landed without further incident, a collective sense of relief swept through the cabin, with passengers taking deep breaths after the tense experience. Although no one was injured, the episode left a lasting impression, marking the journey as one defined by sudden danger and an unforgettable reminder of how quickly routine travel can turn unsettling. In 2021, a seasoned U.S. Navy aviator, flying an F-18 fighter jet off the East Coast, encountered an unidentified object that entered his flight area, prompting serious concern. While scanning the surrounding airspace, the pilot managed to record the moment on his phone, capturing footage in which a metallic, spherical object appeared to pass rapidly across the field of view near the aircraft. Officials later acknowledged that the U.S. government could not say with certainty what the video showed, stating only that it appeared to depict a physical object moving past the window. Footage shared by an anonymous source from an undisclosed location appeared to show not just one but several dozen flying saucers moving through the sky in formation. The objects were described as resembling an invasion force, given their number and coordinated movement. Above them, additional UFOs were reportedly visible, seemingly cloaked yet marked by faint blinking lights as they passed at what was described as supersonic speed. The objects were said to be traveling through international airspace, a detail that fueled speculation that their location allowed them to evade detection by military radar systems. A passenger aboard a recent flight reported witnessing a remarkable sight when a large object was seen spinning and drifting unpredictably near the aircraft. Its elongated shape closely resembled that of a giant Tic Tac, yet its identity could not be determined, adding to the intrigue surrounding the encounter. What made the sighting especially puzzling was the fact that the object appeared to cast a visible shadow, strongly suggesting that it was a physical presence rather than a simple visual illusion. The observation prompted speculation about whether the object was an unconventional aerial craft experiencing difficulties, or a rare atmospheric phenomenon that has yet to be fully explained. On October 31, 2015, a passenger boarding a Ryanair flight to Galway via London Stansted encountered an unexpected and amusing situation upon discovering someone who looked almost identical to him, seated in his assigned place. The man was later identified as Glasgow-based photographer Neil Thomas Douglas, whose striking resemblance immediately drew attention and entertained nearby passengers. The coincidence quickly turned into a light-hearted moment as the two shared a laugh and took a selfie together, only to learn that they were staying at the same hotel in Galway. The unlikely encounter did not end there, as they reportedly crossed paths again later at a local pub, turning an ordinary flight into a memorable story of chance and resemblance. A startling incident unfolded aboard an AirAsia Airbus A320-200 traveling from Kuala Lumpur to Tawau, Malaysia, when a snake was discovered inside the aircraft during the flight. The reptile was spotted in a lit section of the cabin, where it remained largely motionless until the crew made the decision to divert the plane as a precautionary measure. It was later suggested that the snake may have escaped from a passenger's luggage or possibly entered the aircraft from the ground prior to takeoff, though the exact cause was never confirmed. Earlier this year, on April 14, 2025, a helicopter captain identified as Hamilton was flying over São Paulo, Brazil, when he reported encountering a massive UFO in the sky. The object initially appeared only partially on radar before drawing attention for what he described as hiding in plain sight, an effect created by its unusual interaction with the surrounding environment. According to the account, the enormous craft appeared to use the clouds as cover, blending seamlessly into the atmosphere with a surrounding layer that closely matched the sky itself. At the same time, it emitted an intense brightness reminiscent of the sun, a striking contrast that made the sighting both highly visible and difficult to interpret. A passenger seated by the window on a flight departing Puerto Rico reported noticing what appeared to be an angelic figure passing by the aircraft just minutes after takeoff while flying along the coastline. The sighting lasted only a fleeting moment, making it difficult to fully comprehend or identify what had been seen. Despite its brief nature, the experience was described as rare and extraordinary, leaving the impression of an almost divine encounter that stood out sharply against the otherwise routine departure. 2 years earlier, in February, an Airbus A320 was flying its regular route above Medellin, Colombia, when a pilot noticed a puzzling object moving beyond the cockpit windows. The metallic-looking shape traveled along a straight and steady path, and upon closer observation, its form appeared to resemble a dark-colored cube measuring an estimated 10 to 15 feet across. The unusual characteristics of the object prompted speculation among some specialists, who proposed the intriguing possibility that the sighting could represent advanced technology, perhaps even probes sent by highly developed civilizations as a preliminary step toward future interaction with humanity. Whether these sightings point to rare natural phenomena, secret experiments, or something far more unsettling, they all were witnessed by ordinary people in extraordinary moments, with nowhere to look but out the window or down a dark aisle. And as air travel continues to connect the world, it also continues to expose us to the unknown. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming journeys. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.